What's up, squad? We are doing our first workout after 30 days of Isochain work. So I want to kind of see how this goes. I planned this out about 2 months ahead of time, like the whole Isochain program and the weightlifting program that will follow. I decided that I will change nothing. I will literally keep the weight exactly where it was before the Isochain for 30 days only. All right, because following science, I shouldn't have had a drop off. Everything should have been either increasing or worst case scenario, staying the same, but it shouldn't have dropped. Everything is exactly the same. Let's see what happens. Today is chest and biceps, so major push, small pull. Let's just see what happens. All right, so here we go, guys, and we're starting the bench, and right away I can tell that the stabilizers took a little bit of a hit when this part is done and I start talking again. I think I repeat some of the same things over again, and I'm saying right now, and that's fine, but I can just tell that the stabilizers are off. Like, I feel like I was a newbie a little bit. Now, the strength was just fine. Like, I wasn't struggling to put up the weight. It was just like, whoa, the balance is off, which is actually taken away from my energy to focus on the movement. So in that first set, you can kind of see that. In the second set, it happens a little bit. You can see how, like, the weight is, like, tipping over to the left and right, and like as it starts to go further, I start to get a little bit under control. It was just very odd. It's very odd to have the strength, but the endurance, the muscular endurance, it felt like it took a little bit of a hit too. Now this is 225, a 45, a 35, and a 10, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great either. I believe in a second I say that I do that not much strength has left, and it's true. So actually I had to stop for a little bit. I got to about 7 reps right here, and I was like, whoa, okay, let's put that back up. So I fast forward a little bit, kind of speed through the video, and then I get to that last rep. Not bad. Definitely no drastic strength drop off, which is what I was concerned about. At most, I wanted this challenge to balance my strength off, and it did. So not bad for the first time going through all this. Not bad. Not bad. I failed around rep 7 of the third set, so it was like about where I was at before. My chest used to be stronger where I could do 225 for 3 sets of 10, but I did let it slip. I'm actually no injuries. It's just me being effing up, but it's all good. So around the same, so my chest is about the same, and to be honest, that's not bad considering I didn't really get as much as I wanted to out of my upper body 6x6 Isochain Only sessions, because remember I was talking to you about the 2 annoying ass injuries I was dealing with before I started the program. So I think that went pretty good, you know, put it down and got the ugly 8th rep for the last one. So my chest is feeling kind of tight. I miss this feeling. I haven't felt like tight in my chest since before Isochain, because even with Isochain I don't really feel tight afterwards. I feel tight doing it, and that's it. So at this point it's just gonna be like just clips of the rest of my workout program, and then I'll catch up with y'all guys after, so enjoy the clips. All right, so here we go with the bicep curl. So I'm using the no cheat device, which I really like. So this is, what is this, 115 that I'm curling. It felt okay. I mean, not great. I usually don't barbell bicep curl. I usually use the dumbbells. But I specifically designed this program to mimic some of what I was doing in the Isochain, and since the Isochain is just essentially like a smaller version of a barbell, it's just like, it's not 2 different weights in your hands. I wanted to do the barbell bicep curl, and I wanted to use the no cheat device to really stimulate and really simulate the bicep curl and the Isochain. A little bit of rocking here, but for the most part, this is all bicep, baby, and like it was okay. I really don't have numbers to compare this to, but it felt decent. Now I go back to the 185 for bench because I wanted to. This is no problem whatsoever. The 225 was a little bit more challenging, but I wanted to really get that bench because when I felt like I was kind of lacking in that department, is I had the bench press on the Isochain for that custom setup. So you can see here, I actually, it was a little extra and did the slow motion, just so you could see the stabilizers in action here. And I was starting to get it a lot more with the lighter weight, so I could tell that the stabilizers took a hit because they were starting to come back the more I was doing the bench. I was like, okay, that's fine. That makes sense because I wasn't there was no stabilizer work. The only dynamic stuff I was doing during the challenge was I was going to Planet Fitness and doing the what I call the ab trifecta, which is a torso rotation, this the lie down abdominal crunch, and the captain's chair lower ab leg lift. That's all I was doing. So I'm not letting them. My core is, I'm not letting that go. Fuck that. But the other thing is the grippers, which I cover later in this video, or if I didn't already. The captains of crush grippers. Those are the only dynamic things that I did. Everything else was strictly isochain. So you could tell that there was a little bit of a dip in my upper body stabilizers, especially the push, because I really have much to do in that aspect except the Isochain custom bench press. So, you know, not bad. Again, like I said, I could tell that the strength was just fine. I mean, that went up no problem. Here you can get it from a little bit of a different angle. I'm coming down. The safeties have about roughly like 2 to 3 inches right off the chest. I want to set that up personally, just in case I had like some type of accident, because normally I have it 1 notch lower than what I have it at right now. So it's actually touching my chest on the normal safeties. But I was like, you know what, just to cover myself and not get my ego involved, let's put it 1 notch higher in case for some reason I would experience some type of failure, and let it rest on there. I'm actually still glad I did that. I'm working on my ego here. But yeah, looking good. Like I said, strength was fine. Muscular endurance, I did notice take a hit. And the reason why I noticed it took a hit is because I wasn't really focusing too much on that. I was focusing on strength production and hypertrophy. All right, so how long is the muscle under load? A total of 36 seconds for that particular muscle group. Had I done an isometric hypertrophy style exercise, and I was really focused on, look at how messed up that got at the end. Then I would have gone for 20 to 45 seconds. So that the total load would have been anywhere between 60 to almost 2.5 minutes versus that. So the muscular endurance wouldn't have dropped. You see what I'm saying? Versus just 36 seconds under that specific muscle group using the Isochain. So you see that 36 seconds versus 1 minute to 2.5 minutes of tension. Now, granted, it won't be at my top, it won't be at my max, but it would be better. All right, so now we're gonna switch. And at this point, you know, I wanted to make sure I got 3 slow-mos on the 185 bench just to really cover all angles. Almost beating a dead horse, but I'm actually glad I got this angle in particular because I wanted to see it from the right side. The hand placement was fantastic. When I had my Isochain bench press set up, I had it right there, so right in the middle. So right there at that neutral position, because that's just the setup that I had. So I noticed that it did kind of fly up a little bit until I was just exhausted, and then it was just whatever. But the launch phase was kind of but right there where I was struggling at, that's where I was training with the Isochain bench press. I believe I let it rest there for a second. So I was just like, whoa, okay, I'm done for a second. Just let me relax. But then I managed to squeeze it out at the end. Not bad. I mean, it could have been better. It could have been better if I could have somehow customized the Isochain bench press to be a little closer to my chest. I don't think that I would have run into the issues that I did. Also, remember, I only did 1 chain link for each upper body exercise. Only 1. So let's say I really wanted to work on my dynamic bench press. What I would do is I would train at that angle right there that you see on the screen, that angle for the Isochain. I would change the chain link to a lower one, the one where it would simulate the bar touching my chest, and then one near almost lockout position for the bench press. Doing that, imagine doing that for a 6x6. So 6x6 touching chest, 6x6 in a position you see on the screen, and a 6x6 at near lockout, which is right about there. Now I failed on that one there. It's kind of funny to see that. And see, that's why I put them safeties up. Because had I not put them safeties up, I would have been in a little bit of a pickle there. Because, yeah, it's normally just one notch down. So I was just like, whoa, whoa. And I was about to do the slide of shame. You ever do the slide of shame where you fail on a bench press? So you gotta slide your body out of it. I've done it before. My ego, I had to check it. As I walked out the door, I was like, dang, yo, that was stupid. But that's exactly why, those sticking points is exactly why we use the Isochain, to not run into situations like that. Now, still, we gotta know our limits so that we know how to properly set up our bench. But it was interesting to see that. So at this point, I'm done. I was gonna do the roll if I didn't get it back up this time, but I was able to get most of it up, covered it, not bad. Switching to hammer curls. So one thing I was really looking at was my reverse curl on the Isochain. So reverse curl, I was doing a 6x6-4. Numbers were really starting to get out of control in a good way, and I was like, oh, interesting. So I wonder how my hammer curl is doing now. Those are adjustable SelectTech dumbbells up to 52.5. I'm doing the whole thing, 52.5. Slight rocking, but it's still bicep and I was about to say tricep, bicep and forearm performing a movement. As you can see right there, my shoulder did not move, so that's 100% bi and forearm, baby. All right, so near the end, as I was starting to get fatigued, you could start to see a little bit more of the shoulders starting to come into play. But I was more concerned about, okay, did I take a hit in the initial launch phase concentric of the movement? So see, now you see how I straightened up a little bit before I came up. So starting to get tired. So I noticed that the strength is still there. I just felt like more of the muscular endurance took a hit. And it's like, okay, like I said earlier in the video, it kind of makes sense to me. But I was really happy with my hammer curls. I haven't done hammer curls in a while. I was doing hammer curls around 70 pounds with a little bit more rocking. Obviously, it's a heavier weight. But it was still primarily bicep and forearm driving the movement. So until I pick up 70s again, I can give you guys an accurate, but this wasn't difficult for me. Like the hammer curls were not difficult at all. It was just about I would say about a 6x6. It was burning, as you can see by my facial expression there. It was burning, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is not gonna be able to get up for the next round. So, but you saw that right there, the more shoulder recruitment. So it's starting to dip a little bit. I have my upper body starting to pivot forward a little bit, and that kind of lets me know, all right, you're nearing the end of the line, son. But yeah, and also it's just that I haven't done it in over a month, so it felt kind of weird to me doing it. So here's a little bit of a faster pace. And like I said, it's not bad. It could have been better. I do not have 70s at the house, but I do have I've done the 70s on Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram at NoLimitSquad 89, I do have videos. My arms are absolutely done at this. You can see I'm done. They're done. I was done. Yep, but you guys can see that. Now I wanted to end with the dumbbell fly. I really love the dumbbell fly. So normally I do the pec deck machine, or I do a cable fly. I love the cable fly. I have not done the dumbbell fly in a while, so I was like, okay, this is a little different. It's a little different. So I noticed, like right near on set 3, this is set 1. On set 3, I gave out. It died. Or was it set 2? I think it was set 2 where it died. You guys will see in a couple. Yeah, it was set 2. But I was really focusing on getting that stretch. So I'm coming all the way down, keeping a slight bend in the elbows, not completely straight, or that's too much stress on the elbow joint. All right, so for the Isochain and its translation into that, obviously there is no fly for the Isochain. There's only the bench press and the shoulder press because of the shoulder recruitment. It felt decent. There was no extra strain on my pec, but like I said, the endurance just died here. As you can see, I think it's the next rep right here where I'm just like, all right, let's go. And it's just, no, it just collapsed into itself. I'm like, huh, weird. You know, because this is the 3rd set now. All right. So this is a little bit of slow to show the form and everything. I'm starting in neutral chest press position, controlling all the way down, keeping that elbow in a slightly bent position. All right. And the true test is, can I keep the slightly bent position coming back up? I want to know, did my chest decrease, my chest strength decrease as I'm coming back up and force me to recruit different muscles? And right there, it doesn't. So this is my third, after doing 6 bench presses and about, you know, roughly like 75 to 80 reps across all of those sets. This is the end of the rope. I purposely picked the dumbbell fly. Now, say if my arms just failed, I would just dump them. I would rotate my wrist so that the dumbbells could just fall on the floor. Not bad for the fly. Bicep curl. Now, I definitely took a hit here. This is where I noticed I took a hit, which is surprising because I hit a high of 184 on the bicep curl, and it was starting to increase. Remember, I had a low bicep curl in the beginning because my wrist from doing that stupid the shoulder press TikTok video. But I was using the captains of crushers, and it got me back to where I belong on here. And I'm like, okay, so this shouldn't be a problem. Obviously, the bicep curl is a little tougher, especially in the palms out position, because the hammer curl is recruiting using 2 muscle groups, the biceps and the forearms. This is just all bicep. I usually do not have to warp myself like that. Now, it's almost at the point where I'm just using back and bicep, and I'm kind of like, what the hell is going on? My right arm is a little strong, as you can see that. My left arm, I gotta almost contort my back, and I was about to stop. I was about to stop and drop the weight, but I was like, you know what, let me just finish it out. So I'm tightening up my core so that it doesn't completely go to the back. But I'm like, dang, I usually don't even have to do this for the bicep curl. But I'm like, okay, you know, I'll just take it for what it is. So it's a little bit of back recruitment involved. The form is definitely not 100%, as you can see that. I really wasn't happy about that. And I'm wondering if it was just the fatigue from the other 2 bicep exercises. I feel like I did what I could here, but I did notice a decrease in bicep endurance, and I feel like that's part of why it just died like that, because my muscular endurance definitely took a hit because of the challenge. All in all, everything seemed to make sense, so there you go. What's up, y'all? So we just finished our first upper body exercise of the week, post Isochain, and yes, I actually did notice some differences. I noticed that my muscular endurance took a little bit of a hit. I find that interesting. I find that very interesting, and my mind is kind of telling me that it makes sense, but then a little bit of it is saying no. So essentially, we're teaching our body to contract all in for 6 seconds, but we weren't really doing anything for muscular endurance. But dynamically, maybe we were getting a little bit more because of the amount of time under tension per dynamic rep. I'm not too sure on that though, so I'm not going to say that this is gospel or anything. I'm just going to keep trying and see if it ends up being the same way throughout the entire week, and then I'll know that yes. Now, my strength was definitely there. My bench was just about normal. My bicep curls were just about normal, except that it's so weird. Like, I felt super strong in the beginning, and it just died. It like, whoa, boom, done. Like somebody just took the gas out of it for some reason. I don't know. The numbers were still high though. I didn't have to use weaker weight for anything. Like, it's all, the strength is still there. I wish I had not gone through those stupid injuries prior to the challenge, because I feel like I could have got more, which would have in turn led to better gains upper body wise for this week. So the real test though, to see how the lower body goes, because I feel like I made a lot more gains in my lower body with the Isochain than the upper body. So let's just see, you know, what happens. But so far I'm not disappointed. I guess it's just like, I kind of expected this, but yeah, let's see what happens. But overall, I'm happy.